What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to Trading Live with Bubba. Some wild action over the last few days in the metals. Not much in the indexes as they push towards new highs. We're still doing the same thing. We're looking for opportunities, and we did have 7 trades this morning around the open, but we'll see. I did want to share with everybody one of our products we have, just so you can see kind of what we do every week. But this is a credit spread selling system that can either be automated or manually traded. Started back in 10/15 of 2020, and it's up over 100%, almost 200% over that time. Here's every trade that it's made through the last weeks. So again, if you want to check it out, let me know. But it can be automated through Tradier or manually traded. That's up to you. We don't care. But our auto trading is free if you have a Tradier account, so it can work for you. Meantime, now gold is getting close to being something, but one of the warnings I've been giving everybody is the moves are so big in gold right now that I don't know that you want to get overly involved, because even on a micro, you're talking about a risk of $100 and so on one, and we don't like to trade one. We like to start with 2 so we can peel one off. So, but it is getting close to being a potential qualifier, potentially the euro currency. So we'll see. Right now, it's pretty quiet. But if you do like the spread selling, which we'll get to in a few minutes, we do have a product for that, and it's done very well. So you can certainly check that out. It's called Rise Options from Bubba Trading. But again, here we are, gold flying, certainly getting close to a potential trade. Again, I'm not saying that you should take it. I think, again, you got to measure your own risk and how comfortable you are with that. Okay, because this is fast. It will move, and certainly, you don't want to put yourself in a position in jeopardy that you aren't comfortable with. But certainly it could be triggering a potential trader, which I will personally take, but I don't expect everybody else to take in case. Again, that's just something for you. But it may not get there, it may not give me a qualifier, but it's certainly one that we're looking at. And other than that, it's relatively quiet. A little bit of a rally coming back after a pretty good sell-off. We didn't really get any real great trades coming in before this. So let's see what happens here. So not much. So we'll go look at some stocks and see. One of the trades from that Rise Options I just showed you, we did put on yesterday. We sold the 116, 115 put spread yesterday. Okay, and that's from this program. Okay, where we have 3-4 trades a week. They can be automated through Tradier or not, but we did do that yesterday, which for me it was automated because I do it automatically. But you don't have to. That's up to you. Apple charging. I think Apple's probably a good spot to sell some put spreads. Had a very nice rally. I think we will do so. Let's see what we got here. These will be for Friday. Okay. For the 6th. Now, recognize now that some of the bigger stocks, Apple, Amazon, Google, and others now have every other day expiration. So you can see we're moving towards day, but we'll go for Friday on Apple, and I would be looking at the 270, 250, 275. I'd like to get $1 for that. It's trading at 90 cents right now, and our trades from last week were all winners, so that was good. Amazon has earnings this week, so there's nothing we're going to do here. Coin has earnings this week, so there's nothing we're going to do here. One of the things I will tell you, though, on any of the earnings trades, if you're not familiar with the expected move in options, okay. For example, Amazon has an expected move by Friday of $19 plus or minus. If that appears, if we go up 20 or down 20, I will take the opposite side of that trade. If we go up 20 or down 20, I will take the opposite side of the trade. But right now, I have nothing to do. I have to let it trade out. But the option market is pricing in that kind of movement. Okay. So crowd continues to get hammered. I think you could sell some put spreads here. Yeah, let's see here. Crowd, Charlie Romeo, Whiskey Delta. Let's just go back here in case we don't want to miss anything in our live trade potential. Okay. Crowd for the 6th. 420, 417.50 for $1.05. I think that's a good spot, good trade. $1.05 crowd. Okay, and that did fill right away. Okay, ETH's getting clobbered. Again, Bitcoin's been under a lot of pressure. I would look at selling some spreads here as well. Let's go back here for a minute and see what's going on. Not much. Okay. ETH, Echo Tango Hotel Alpha. And I don't think we're going to get enough credit for this. So I'm going to say it's going to be a pass. We're not even going to play with it. Not enough credit. I'm not interested. Meta, okay, nothing to do. Was something to do last week. We were not together to do that, so obviously there's nothing we can do there. Google, earnings this week, so nothing to do. The earnings are tomorrow. Same story goes for Google. It's supposed to move $22. So whichever way, we will fade it. Nothing to do on INOQ. Nothing to do on IWM. Nothing to do on MP. Microsoft getting close, but nothing to do yet. Monster getting close, but and they have earnings, so I wouldn't do anything anyways. Netflix, nothing to do yet. Again, you got to be very patient in these conditions. The markets have been very slow, except for the metals. They've been wild, flying around. So we'll see. In the meantime, right now, not a lot to do. If we would have taken the gold trade, it would have worked. But again, we didn't take it. We said that there was too much risk to it, and it wasn't great. It wasn't a great setup, so we did not take it. But at the end of the day, just recognizing them and being prepared for them are also a good thing. Okay, so let's go back to here. And NNE came off too late for us. Nugget, right at the mean. Nvidia getting close, but nothing yet. Palantir, big move up. Again, that was expected, but we had nothing to do. QBTS, not yet. The Qs, not yet. SMCI is like a dead fish. There's nothing to do there. SPY, nothing. XYZ has earnings next week, so we could actually look at it here. Let's see, XYZ. And for the 6th, let's see, sell the I would sell the 57.56 for 45 cents. Tesla, nothing to do. Win, nothing to do. XBI, nothing. And Zoom, which we did last week, nothing to do here. So basically, there's not a lot to do. Relatively quiet. Even when we look down the board farther, There's some stuff out there, but again, overall, let's see if we can find a live trade to make here. And remember, if you like the credit spread theory, we have a whole model that does that, does it automatically. It actually prints out in fact, I'll show you the order from yesterday. One second. Your screen's going to go dark for 1 second. Don't worry. Don't panic. I'm here. Just got to cut it and bring it over to you. So here's the signal that went out yesterday. Okay, sell the 116, 115 for 40 cents. And Citi, bullish, looking for the stock to go to 127. So just in case you're interested in something like that, we do have that available. And it can be automated through Tradier, or you can do it manually. That is up to you. In the meantime, as we wait and look for something to potentially do here, we need gold to get up to about another 10 or 15 bucks, which could happen in a second. Other than that, there's very little action here, very quiet. I think, again, we have the government shutdown again. No jobs report right now on Friday. So any government data, any government news right now is not coming out. ISM is coming out tomorrow because that's a private number. That's not a government number, ISM services. So that's really the last bit of news for the weekend until they solve their issues with the imbeciles in control. Either party, it doesn't matter. I don't care which side you stand with. They're both full of crap. So in the meantime, again, we're waiting for a potential opportunity. I don't know that we'll get one, but we will stick together and see. But always try to remember to look for, when you're looking for trades, what you really want to try to do is put yourself and find overbought, oversold conditions, especially when I'm using 3 standard deviations from the mean, which is about a 90% probability. And that's about what we hit. I mean, we haven't had all winners, but we've had probably somewhere close to 90% winners in the trades that we give out here. So just keep that in mind when you're trading and you're looking for something. Again, it's a math model, not an opinion model. Okay, which is something that is important to understand. Make sure you understand the math. So right now we need 49.80 approximately to get 3 standard deviations away in gold. And again, it'll depend on the speed, because if it continues to grind slowly here, that 3 standard deviation band will turn higher again. So that it'll get farther. The slower it goes, the farther away it's going to be, as long as you keep creeping up. You can notice the width in the gold, how wide it is, and you can notice how narrow the width is in crude oil. And that just tells you how much movement you've actually seen within the period that you're watching. So I think it's something to certainly understand and recognize. I think it's important. Again, these are just little things you can do to put yourself in the best shape. That's always important to understand. And again, obviously we're not going up fast enough, so we're not going to really trigger anything. There's not any real volume behind it. Same goes for just about everything else. I mean, that you can see the volume is pretty thin. Not a lot to do. And so if there's not a lot to do, we don't do a lot. We sit back and we chat. And if you have questions, feel free to fire them in. But I do encourage you to check out the RISE program. It's a great little money grinder. So, but in the meantime, right now I got nothing to tell you. I got nothing to show you because I'm not getting anything that's worth trading right at the moment. Doesn't mean it won't come. Markets don't announce themselves, so we'll see. We're here ready and willing, and we'll see if we can be able but you can kind of see how quiet it is, the lack of movement in the overall chart. Doesn't do that. So again, and remember, if you have questions, and if you happen to watch this recording, have questions, you can always email me at bubba@bubbatrading.com. Happy to answer questions. And I want to warn all of you, there is another, there's been a lot of scams in crypto, but another scam are going around. And I just heard from a friend of mine that got caught up. They asked me first, and of course they do it anyways, and they got caught up and lost about 200,000. So I just warn you all to be very careful and make sure you do your due diligence on anything that you're going to invest in. But anytime there's money, there's scams going on, so be careful. And the one thing about me is you'll always see me. You can always reach me. I will always answer you, and good news or bad news, I will give it to you. I send out my reports every Saturday, and good or bad. Again, I don't hide when we have a bad week. You're very welcome. It is my pleasure. Again, you just got to be careful. There's a lot of BS out there that is just obviously a money grab, and I just want everybody, listen, I've been doing this for 47 years. I've been an independent trader. I've never taken anybody else's money. I've always traded for myself, offer other products to people who want to be interested. But I always warn you, because I just don't want you to be, I hate when people get taken advantage of. And usually those who get taken advantage of can usually afford it the least, which is why they're considered to be easier prey. So be careful out there. That's the bottom line. So here you go. So now you're getting a potential trade in gold. Now, again, this is a very risky trade, okay, because of the amount of the stop that you're going to have to use, okay? I am going to take it myself, but I am not suggesting that you do so, because, again, the risk is very high, okay? The speed at which it moves is very high. So I want you to be very careful should you decide to do something like this, because again, this speed now can really be, it can be dangerous. Again, it's a qualifying trade, but again, you have to weigh in your mind the risk that you have to take versus, okay, the size of your account. I mean, there's a lot of things to think about when you look at this, and I warn always, because again, everybody's got a different aside from gold. What do you think of the silver? I think silver is going to bounce. I love silver. I mean, I don't love it here so much. I think it's going to bounce a little bit, but I would look for a pullback. But I am an owner of silver. I am a buyer of silver, just not in here. Okay, and we don't day trade it because the tick size is too big and the volume isn't enough. But I do like silver. Here, I'll put it up for you. I mean, there's nothing else going on, so I'll certainly put it up for you. Okay, here. I mean, this was natural. This was expected. Nobody should be shocked that you saw that kind of drop. You get this kind of move up. So now what we really need, if you're bullish on silver, what you really want to see now is some consolidation. By the way, on the gold trade I did make, I just moved my stop to break even. Okay, I do have a profit. Okay, just so you know. But I think, again, this was natural. I mean, it's hard to say that a 36% move down is natural, but that you could have expected it. Okay, and we called it. We talked about it. Okay, among my Monday call and whatever. Now, what I really want to see is silver consolidate between, let's say 75 and 85, 90, and then get prepared to make another breakout, because I think we're going higher. That's the bottom line. I think it's going higher, but it wouldn't surprise me if it came back to 70 before doing so. The strongest thing you could be seeing right now would be a market that consolidates for a couple of weeks to take care of, because what happened at the top, and I think I might have mentioned it here, but you couldn't sell it. There was no dealers that were willing to buy your silver at a reasonable price. They were offering like $15 to $20 below spot. So it's something to be aware of. In the meantime, again, remember, we'll be back Thursday. Every morning I do a Market 120 update, giving you an update of all the commodities and what's going on. And of course, remember, Rise if you're interested in the credit spreads. And everybody have a great day. We'll see you back here on Thursday. Adios.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.